10 weeks of high school football are in the books, and for 28 teams here in the Valley, that means the start of the postseason. It also marks the final installment of our WKBN Big 22 updates. From here on out, it's up to the voters to see who makes the final cut. Here's a few of the kids that caught our attention last week.
The Big 22, sponsored by RD Construction and Fred Martin Ford.
We begin with the back-to-back conference champions. Lowellville earned a monster win over Springfield last Friday, with quarterback Michael Ballone leading the way. The Rockets senior threw for 196 yards, rushed for 146, and accounted for 3 total touchdowns. There were also some epic performances from running backs in Week 10. West Branch senior Boston Mulinix piled up 127 yards and 3 touchdowns on just 9 carries against Salem. Lynch rushed for 212 and scored 3 times against Cardinal Mooney. Crestview's Max Hawkins put up 218 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns against LeBray. But Niles senior Antuan Gardner had a night to remember with a staggering 325 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns against Girard. And finally, our player of the game from Friday night was Poland's Dominic Pagano. The Bulldogs quarterback accounted for over 200 yards of total offense and 3 touchdowns against Struthers in our WKBN Game of the Week. This Friday night, the playoffs begin here in Ohio, and we'll have an all-local matchup in Week 11 featuring some serious contenders for our Big 22. Trevor Siefke just broke the single-season passing record at Lisbon with over 320 yards and 5 touchdowns last week. He will battle Western Reserve's Luke Henning, who has over 1,000 yards passing and over 900 yards rushing this year. It's the Battle of the Blue Devils Playoff Edition, and we'll carry the entire game live as part of our WKBN Game of the Week. It all starts Friday at 7 p.m. at WKBN.com. For Sports Team 27, I'm Ryan Allison.